You've made a big mistake this time. You lizard! My agents will find me, and then I'll have your hide for a handbag.
It took some time, but I finally figured out the best way to teach Anais a lesson. I promise this will make perfect sense to you shortly, my friend. Trust me, stay calm a moment longer, and all will become clear. My associate has returned with the reply from your mansion. Would you like to hear it?
Ransom? Is that your plan? My steward is under strict orders not to negotiate with kidnappers.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that's preposterous. She's not worth half that much.
That old goat! With me out of the way, he's probably hoping to take over the business. Have you contacted my mother?
She's in Hrothgar this time of year, isn't she? Discussing trade agreements. We don't have time to reach out to her.
Untie me and we can forget all about this, Walks. For old time's sake? Are you listening to me?
Thanks for your patience with all of that. I hope I sounded convincing. Anais needs to see the errors of her ways. People aren't property. They aren't supposed to be sold and traded, and they certainly shouldn't be turned into slaves. There was no request for a ransom. I made that all up to scare her. No one even knows she's missing yet, and I'd like to keep it that way. Take these letters. I don't want her family's agents to come looking for her yet, so I forged them to explain her absence. Just plant them in the Velmont mansion, and that will give me all the time I need. Time for Anais to consider her situation, to see if being trapped and powerless changes her outlook on keeping pets and slaves. When she's learned her lesson, I'll set her free. Meet me at the Thieves' Den after you plant the letters. glad you decided to join me. These pirates are definitely of the unfriendly persuasion. I tracked Anais to that building behind us, but the lock on the door has thwarted all of my attempts to pick it. One of these pirates must have a key. Maybe you'll have better luck finding it than I did. You did? Excellent! I'll let you have the pleasure of seeing if that key will unlock the door. After you. Anais, I'm so glad we found you. And all in one piece, too.
No thanks to you. You left me tied up on the docks. What did you think was going to happen? I demand you escort me home. Immediately.
Right. Of course. I just need a moment to confer with my associate.
Of course you do. Just let me know when you're ready to get me out of here. These pirates have no appreciation of soap and water.
On the one hand, I'm grateful that Anais doesn't appear any worse for the wear. On the other hand, I hope to see some evidence by now that she'd learned her lesson. Yes, rescue her. Yes, I never wanted to become a slave merchant. But if we set her free, won't she just continue with her awful ways? I hate to admit it, but I'm at a loss as to how to proceed. Yes, I suppose I should. But does that mean I abandon my goal to teach Anais a lesson? How would I live with myself if she continues to treat people as things? I could set her free, but what's the profit in that? What does that matter? Should I determine my actions based on the inclinations of a slave-keeping, self-centered aristocrat? What should I do? I just want to return to the den, put this awful business behind us. I'll let you out of here, Anais. I just hope this helps you realize the difference between people and property. I escorted Anais out of the pirate lair and back to her mansion, where she's safe and sound, and no doubt planning how to flay me alive at the first opportunity. Of course, just as you suggested. And the forged letters worked perfectly. Pimsey's days of slavery are over. His new life starts today.
Did Zira speak with you about the wedding? Kosh returned Magnifica Falora's dowry. Seems she's agreed to marry him to bind the futures of Tanith and Abah's landing. How romantic. Our old guildmaster is behind all this. Zira wants Nicholas to pay for his betrayal. Find Zira in the den, and hurry. The wedding is very soon. My theory? Nicholas gives Kosh the stolen dowry. Kosh returns it to Chief Inspector Ron Beek. With the dowry recovered, the Iron Wheel departs. This gives Kosh great influence with the merchant lords, the same ones who buy from all the pirates raiding Tanith. Kosh becomes her puppet. He keeps the Abah's landing merchant lords in line. This removes a threat to Tanith, which elevates her among her peers. Better yet, she gets to marry and keep her own dowry. She gains money and influence. How about that? Kosh pays him a large sum of money for the dowry. He heads somewhere remote, retires like Velsa did, spends his fortune on all those paintings he loved to acquire. Unless one of us finds him and feeds him his own liver. I'd do it, if Zira asked. I read. Hammerfell politics are fascinating. You ask me, nobles are thieves who pick the pockets of nations.
There you are. You heard about the wedding? This is our chance to repay Nicholas for selling out the Thieves Guild. Nicholas must have planned all this, stealing the dowry, using it as leverage on Flora. Now she's bound to marry Kosh, his puppet. So we're going to crash the wedding. If Magnifica Flora learns exactly who she's about to marry, she'll turn the iron wheel on Kosh. And if we threaten Kosh's future, Nicholas will scuttle into the open. I look forward to stepping on him. Silverclaw said he'd help with invitations. Meet him at his shop, down by the harbor. I haven't decided. But whatever happens, you deserve to be there.
So much to do.
Oh, hello. Zira sent word I should expect you. Every important merchant in Abah's landing received a wedding invitation. Every single one. But not Silverclaw. Lord Walavir, for one. That paranoid cheat lounges about the market as though he owns every tile on the walls. Or that lush Lady Balina. She won't even attend. Just use it as an excuse to buy another dress from Perseus Locke. She's sweet on him, you know. I dislike them equally. Lord Walavir would keep it in his pocket. Were you subtle enough, you could take it from him. Lady Balina would certainly leave it upon her bedroom dresser. Slip past her mansion's servants and house guards to retrieve it. Good, good. When you do, meet me at your thieves' den. I may have experience in duplicating official documents. For my records, you see.
How can we expect a decent forgery? I can barely read your writing.
That is intentional. I write defensively. It keeps prying eyes from deciphering my ledger.
Again? I can't believe it.
Velsa, for the third time, I hear your concerns.
And ignore them at your peril.
Well, I'm in. A wedding at Ubalajad Palace? Just imagine the spread.
Did you get the invitation? Whose did you acquire? No, don't tell me. I want to see it with my own eyes. Let me see here. And guest! Oh, this is good! The invitation allows for a single companion! Once you select your guest, you should visit the Diamond Thimble. If you aren't clothed in one of Perseus Locke's outfits, you'll stand out like a sore claw. You don't have to dress up. You get to dress up. But your companion will need to acquire an outfit as well, so go on. I'll be over here. The invitation will be ready in no time at all.
Prices have never been better. So, who are you going to bring with you to the palace? I hope you say Velsa. I'd love to see her bedecked in finery. You what? Thank you for not making this strange. All right, partner. You have a date.
A pleasure, Lady Belina. I always enjoy dressing you up.
Then you should come by my mansion later to collect your payment. Have I mentioned my husband is away?
3 times, in fact. My assistant will bring you the bill. Ah, my unlikely savior returns. Zira sent word of your stylistic needs. Well, any of the selections you see here should fit. I have an eye for these things. Please note, the outfit shall be on loan. I humbly ask you return it with the exact same number of holes as when it left my establishment. Oh, that's like asking a parent to pick their favorite child. Each is special in its own way. Delicate fabrics and exhilarating patterns breathe life into whoever dons them. I don't mean to oversell it, but you shall feel born anew. Oh, go with what speaks to you. The first choice is always the best one. Not after the merchant lords caught wind. It's good to be the preeminent tailor of Abah's Landing. Chief Inspector Ron Beek himself sent a personal apology. Something about excess zeal on the part of his underling. Oh, that horrid place of darkness. Magnifica Flora tried to lead me through, but I panicked and fled. It was sheer luck that I didn't fall to my death. And if she hadn't given me that trinket, we wouldn't be speaking today. Yes, it had a crystal holding a small amount of her blood. I mentioned it to your old guildmaster when he asked about the particulars of Aldenobia tomb. It's strange. I seem to have misplaced it. I haven't seen it in months. Why do you ask?